Good afternoon, children. Today let me learn periodic trends in properties. Periodic trends in properties are atomic radius, ionic radius, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, electronegativity. 5 properties. Okay, so the first property is atomic radius, second one is ionic radius, third one is ionization enthalpy, fourth one electron gain enthalpy, and electronegativity. These 5 properties are periodic trends in properties. First, let me learn atomic radius. Atomic radius, that means atom's radius. Okay. So, atomic radius of an atom is defined as the distance between center of its nucleus and outermost shell containing the valence electron. Okay. So, atomic radius means one atom. One atom. Okay, so atom having the center of nucleus. This is a shell. Okay, K shell, L shell. Okay, so that atomic radius is defined as the distance between center of the nucleus and valence shell, outermost shell. Okay, distance between the center of its nucleus and the outermost shell containing the valence electron. Okay, that is called atomic radius. So, in this atom, the center of the nucleus and outermost shell. Okay, so that distance is called atomic radius. It is not possible to measure the radius of an isolated atom directly. We cannot measure the atom distance, cannot measure directly. So, except noble gas, usually atomic radius is referred to as covalent radius or metallic radius. We can measure by covalent radius or metallic radius depending upon the nature of the bonding between the concerned atoms. Okay, so how we will calculate? First, let me learn covalent radius. So, covalent radius means it is 1/2 of the internuclear distance between two identical atoms, two same atoms. Listen, see there, this is a chlorine atom, that is chlorine atom. Okay, two same atom, that is two identical atom. 1/2 means, for example, so this chlorine atom, two chlorine atom. So, the distance 1. Radius means 1/2. Okay, so that is 1/2 of the internuclear distance, two nucleus between the distance, that is internuclear distance between two identical atoms linked together by covalent bond. That is called covalent radius. Okay, internuclear distance can be determined using X-ray diffraction studies. Okay, it is used to determine using X-ray diffraction studies. Have you understood? So, covalent radius means 1/2 of the internuclear distance between two identical atoms. Okay, that two identical atoms linked together by single covalent bond. See the example. The experimental internuclear distance in Cl2 molecule is 1.98 angstrom. The covalent radius of chlorine is calculated as below. Okay, so see there, given the value is d, distance, diameter. Okay, so in a circle we will calculate the diameter distance, that means diameter Cl dot Cl, that is 2 molecules, Cl bond Cl. So radius RCl plus RCl. Okay, so d Cl bond Cl equal to RCl plus RCl, so 2RCl. That is RCl, radius equal to distance by 2. Okay. The formation of covalent bond involves the overlapping of atomic orbital. it reduces the expected internuclear distance. So the covalent radius is always shorter than actual atomic radius. The covalent radius of individual atom can be calculated using the internuclear distance. Okay, individual atom, covalent radius of individual atom calculated by internuclear distance d of A bond B. Okay, so between two different atoms, already we studied two identical atoms. Now we are going to study two different atoms. Okay, that is A and B, two different atoms. The simplest method proposed by Shoemaker and Stevenson is follow the internuclear distance between two different atoms d A bond B equal to RA plus RB, radius of A, radius of B minus 0.09 XA minus XB. Okay, where XA and XB are the electronegativity of A and B, A atom and B atom. Okay, so here XA greater than XB and radius is in A angstrom. Okay, see the problem. Let us calculate the covalent radius of hydrogen using the experimental DH bond Cl value is 1.28 angstrom and the covalent radius of chlorine is 0.99 angstrom. In Pauling scale, the electronegativity of chlorine and hydrogen are 3 and 2.1. Okay, so here they are given values distance of hydrogen and chlorine given, that is 1.28 angstrom. The next they given value is radius of chlorine 0.99 angstrom. We want to calculate the radius of hydrogen. Okay, substitute the value and find the radius of hydrogen. Next, atomic radius can be determined using metallic radius. So metallic radius is defined as 1/2 of the distance between two adjacent metal atoms in the closely packed metallic crystal lattice. Okay, metallic radius is defined as the 1/2 of the distance between two adjacent metal atoms. That metal atoms are closely packed metallic crystal lattice. Okay, for example, the distance between the adjacent copper atom in solid copper is 2.56 angstrom and therefore the metallic radius of copper. Okay, so they given distance of adjacent atoms given, you want to calculate radius, so that means d by 2. The metallic radius can be calculated using the unit cell. Next, let me learn periodic trends in atomic radius. First, variation in periods. Okay, atomic radius tends decrease in a period. As we move from left to right along a period, the valence electrons added to the same shell. Left to right, increase the atomic number. Increase the atomic number means shells. Outermost shells are increased. Okay, so simultaneous addition of proton to the nucleus increase the nuclear charge as well as electrostatic attractive force between the valence electron and the nucleus. Therefore, atomic radius decrease along the period. Okay, so the atoms left to right, the atomic number increased. That means number of shells also, valence shells also increased. So the atomic radius decrease along the period. Next one, effective nuclear charge. In addition to the electrostatic force, the attraction between the nucleus and the electron, there exists a repulsive force among the electron. Okay, so in an atom the center of the nucleus and the electron repulsive force. Okay, so the repulsive force between the inner shell electron and the valence electron leads to decrease. Okay, so the nucleus and the inner shell, for example, this is one of the atom, it having the nucleus. So this is a inner, it having okay K L M. Okay, so the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron exists repulsive force. Okay, repulsive force between the nucleus and electron. Okay, so the valence electron, the distance is high, so that inner shell and the outer shell repulsive force is less. Okay, so the repulsive force between the inner shell electron and the valence electron leads to decrease in the electrostatic attractive force acting the valence electron by the nucleus. Okay, so the inner shell electron, this inner shell electrons are act as a shield. Okay, that means hiding to outer shell. Okay, so the inner shell electron acts as a shield between the nucleus and the valence electron. Okay, so this inner shell is a shield, okay, between the nucleus and the outer shell. This effect is called a shielding effect. Shielding effect is a 2-mark question. Okay, the next 2-mark question is a effective nuclear charge. The net nuclear charge experienced by the valence electron in the outermost shell is called effective nuclear charge. The net nuclear charge, that total net charge experienced by valence electron in the outermost shell, that is called effective nuclear charge. So the effective nuclear charge, that is ZF. Z means atomic number. EFF means effective nuclear charge equal to Z minus S. This Z is atomic number, S is a screening constant. Next, let me learn Slater rule. Okay, 3-mark question. 3-mark question, important question, Slater rule. Okay, so for step 1, Slater rule, step 1, write the electronic configuration of the atom and rearrange the grouping NS and NP orbital together and others separately. Okay, first you should write the electronic configuration. Already we studied electronic configuration 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, that is electronic configuration. Okay, so that electronic configuration, you group that orbital into 1s separately, 2s, 2p together, then 3s, 3p together, 3d separate, then 4s, 4p, 4d separate, 4f separate, sp, like that you want to separate. Okay, that is first step. Then second step, identify the group the electron is innerst present. The electron present in the right to the group does not contribute to the shielding effect. Okay, you want to find the innerst present inner orbital. Okay, so each of the electron with an identified group denoted by N shield to extend 0.35 unit per nuclear charge, 0.30 unit per 1s electron. For example, 1s orbit is a inner orbit, means that value that number of electron want to multiply by 0.30. So other than s orbital, that means p orbital, you want to multiply 0.35. Okay, so the next third step, shielding of inner shell electron. If the electron is inner, belong to either s or p orbital, each electron within the n-1 group shield to n, that group is n-1, means you want to multiply 0.85. suppose that electron is n minus 2 group or lesser group means you want to multiply by 1. Okay, then step 4, summation of the shielding effect of all the electron give the shielding constant S. Okay, so now see the example 1. Let us explain the calculation of effective nuclear charge on 4s electron and 3d electron on scandium. Okay, that given element is a scandium. In scandium, we want to calculate the effective nuclear charge of 4s electron and 3d electron. Okay, so first you should want to write the electronic configuration. Okay, scandium, atomic number 21. Okay, so you want to write the electronic configuration. So that electronic configuration is 1s2 so that atomic number, scandium atomic number is 21. So you should write the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d1. That is electronic configuration. First step you want to separate first shell separately, second shell separately, third shell s and p together, d separately, then 4s. Okay, so the 4s you want to find the 4s orbit, that is outer, that represent n. That outer near orbit is a third orbit, that is n minus 1. Then third orbit nearest one is 2, second shell, that is n minus 2. 1s2 is n minus 3. Okay, this n minus 2 and n minus 3, that is inner orbitals, nucleus near, that is inner shell. This and all n minus 1 and n, this n is a outer shell. Okay, so the next you want to group that. So group, we grouped n, n minus 1, n minus 2 and others means n minus 3, that is inner. Okay, so number of electron in the group. So n orbital we are going to find 4s electron. 4s, we are finding that 1 electron, so 1. Okay, then n minus 1, here n minus 1, totally how many electron? 8 plus 1, that is 9. Then n minus 2 and others means n minus 2 and n minus 3, totally 8 plus 2, 10 electron. Okay, so outer n s orbit means that is we want to multiply 0.35. For 1s orbit alone you want to give 0.30. Other than s orbital is multiplied by 0.35. Okay, so 1 into 0.35 equal to 0.35. The next n minus 1, totally 9 electron. So that inner orbit means n minus 1 orbit you want to multiply by 0.85. Okay, so 0.85. You want to multiply 9 into 0.85 equal to 7.65. Then n minus 2 inner orbitals are totally 10 electrons. 10 into 1 multiply by 1, so 10. That s value is 18. Okay, s is a screening constant. Okay, then you want to substitute Z effective. That means effective nuclear charge equal to atomic number minus screening constant. Atomic number, scandium atomic number is 21. Now we calculated S value, that is 18. So that effective nuclear charge equal to 3. Okay, so next question here we want to calculate the 3d electron also. 3d means the 3d, that electron. Okay, then 3d, which one we are finding? That is n. Okay, that 3d electron is n. 3s, 3p, that is n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3. Okay, so n the orbital we are calculating 3d 1 electron. Okay, so n, so last one electron leave it, so that is 0 into 0.35 multiply 0, then n minus 1, that inner orbitals total that electron 8 plus 8 16 18, 1 into 18, then calculate the Z effective nuclear charge. Some values are given here. According to Slater rule, n means outer orbital. You want to multiply 0.35. Only 1s orbital means 0.30. Then n minus 1 orbit means multiply by 0.85. n minus 2 and other orbit means 1. Some values are given. Lithium effective nuclear charge is 1.30. Covalent radius is 152. Some other elements are given. Okay. So the next, let me learn variation in group. Okay. In the periodic table, the atomic radius of elements increase down the group. Okay. In the period, atomic radius increase. As we move down a group, new shells are opened to accommodate the newly added valence electron. Atomic number increased, so the atomic size also increased. So distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost containing valence electron increases. Can the atomic radius increases. Okay. See the graph. Covalent radius versus atomic number. Okay. So from lithium to cesium, the atomic radius increased. Some values are given. Lithium, so n outermost shell contain valence electron. Lithium valence electron 2, sodium valence electron 3, potassium valence electron 4, rubidium valence electron 5, cesium valence electron 6. Okay. So that lithium valence electron 2, that value is 1.34. Here 2, that value is 1.34. The next, sodium, n equal to 3, value is 1.54. Next, let me learn ionic radius. Already we studied atomic radius. Okay, atomic radius determined using covalent radius and metallic radius. Now we are going to learn ionic radius. Okay, it is defined as the distance from the center of the nucleus of the ion to which it exerts its influence on the electron cloud of the ion. Okay, distance between center of the nucleus of an ion and electron cloud of the ion. Okay, so ionic radius of univalent crystal can be calculated using Pauling's method. Okay, so another one 3 mark important question is a Pauling's method. Pauling's method is used to calculate univalent crystal ionic radius. Okay. So Pauling method, from the inter-ionic distance between the nuclei of cation and anion. So ionic radius, that means cation and ions are there. Cation and anion. Cation means positive ion, anion means negative ion. Okay. So the ions present in crystal lattice are perfect sphere as they are in contact with each other. Okay. So that D, distance or diameter equal to RC plus radius of cation plus radius of anion, where D is the distance between the center of the nucleus of the cation, C plus, anion A minus. Okay, RC plus means radius of cation, RA minus is a radius of anion. Okay, Pauling assumed that the radius of the ion having noble gas electronic configuration. Noble gas means helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. That inert gas are NS2, NP6, that is completely filled orbital. So the Na plus and Cl minus having the completely filled orbital 2s2, 2p6 configuration. So that inert gas configuration is inversely proportional to the effective nuclear charge. Okay, so the radius of cation inversely proportional to effective nuclear charge. Radius inversely proportional to effective nuclear charge. Okay, so Rc plus inversely proportional to 1 by effective nuclear charge of C plus, or A minus inversely proportional to 1 by Z effective nuclear charge of A minus, where Z EFF is a effective nuclear charge. Already we studied effective nuclear charge equal to Z minus S, that means atomic number minus screening constant. Okay, so we can write Rc plus by Ra minus, that 1 and 3 we can 2 and 3 divide the equation 2 by 3. Rc plus by Ra minus equal to Z effective A minus divided by Z effective C plus. Okay, the value of Rc plus and Ra minus can be obtained. This is a Pauling method used to calculate the ionic radius. Very important question.